Hi, I'm Kathleen Sams with Red Heart Yarns, and now that you have all of the blocks to your sampler throw completed, we're going to work on sewing it together. And as you can see, these are the 5 colors that I've got for my first row. Now I'm going to show you a couple of different methods on sewing together. Now you're going to have a chart to follow from the pattern, and you can see there it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 different blocks. What you're going to do is start and work in strips. So we've got 1, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and these are the colors that I'm using on mine. So what we're going to do is sew these strips together after all the blocks have been put in. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways of doing the blocks. One thing you need to make sure when you're working on this is keep your blocks right side up so you know that you've got them going in the right direction. So this is the proper way for this one. And see on here, though, so these 2 blocks are going to be sewn together. Now, I like to weave, and you can see they're going to come out the same. I want to point this out. Each block, per the instruction, has single crochet worked all the way around the edge. So each block, even though they may not look the same size, they have the same amount of stitches. So it's going to be easy for you to sew them together. 29 stitches across the top and the bottom, 30 stitches going down both sides, and then you have a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet corner space. Now what I like to do is you're going to have to make sure you match your stitches, and that's why I say having the same amount going across, it's very easy to do. And just take a couple, you can hold it straight out or use a couple of stitching pins to just place them together, and you just remove those as you work. Now we're going to start right here with the very first stitch. Now what I like to do is weave them. I like the construction, I like the way it makes the blocks look. So what I'm going to do is go through just that back loop and then pick up on this piece here. We're going to pull this through, leave a little tail here, then we're going into the next stitch through that loop, then back into, see that? Back into the first stitch. I'm going to pull that through, then we're going into the next one and pick up that loop and then back into that stitch again that you just did. This is how you weave. Back and forth. See, go into the next stitch, pick up that one you just did, go into the next stitch on the front, pick up that last one from the back that you just worked. This is weaving. Let me do a few more here just to make sure. And I'll flip this over so you can see, because by working in just the back loops like this, it's going to make a nice ridge on the blocks. Let me do just a couple more, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And you do this all the way across the row, and hopefully you have 29 stitches on both your blocks, and they'll come out even for you. Let me take the stitch pin out so you can see what I'm doing. And you see here? And once you get your ends woven in, you can see that I've used a different color, but it's not showing through. And that's what I like about weaving, and it's a really nice construction. And you can see, because you're matching your stitches here, it's making a nice little ridge. And I think it just gives a nice edge to each one of these strips. Now, another thing that you can also do is you can whip stitch, that's where you're just going through each stitch over and over. I honestly don't like that method. I don't feel like it holds up as well, but that's your choice. Now, the other thing you can do is something very similar. I've used one size smaller hook than what I used for the actual blocks, and we're going to slip stitch this. So again, I'm just going through the 2 loops, and I'm going to pull this through, and let's pretend that we have already started this. And what a slip stitch is you're just going through those loops, pulling it through. And don't pull tight. Keep it nice and loose, or exactly, to go across your stitch. Can you see how I'm picking up those loops and slip stitching these across? And I feel that this is, between this and the weaving, is going to give you a much more secure seam on your blocks. Let me do a few more here, and I'll show you. It comes out, and see, now this will leave just a small ridge on the back side, but again, you can see I'm using a different color. And when I flip it over, look, you don't even see it at all. Now what you're going to do based on this graph is you're going to put your blocks together, like I said, in strips. And then once you get all of your strips done, you're going to sew those strips together, and then you start your border around the entire piece. And now you've made your sampler throw.